Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you for tuning into our video again. It's been a while since we've shown you an update, and I just wanted to show you what's going on in our garden at the moment. It's a lovely sunny day today, and my mum's been just sorting out the compost. So you've not been seeing many uploads from me in the last month. Firstly, because it's Ramadan and I've been working and trying to sort of manage everything at the moment, and I spent a lot of my time before Ramadan getting this polytunnel up. Now, we bought this from a company which was close by, and me and a friend of mine, we managed to set the whole thing up ourselves using simple tools. Show you inside. So it's a decent size, it's a good size, high enough for all of these plants to grow up. As you know, a lot of these plants, they do like to sort of climb upwards, so my mum's been working on that. So the polytunnel here is 10 foot long and it is 8 foot wide this way. It's made of 3 hoops, as you can see, and there are foundation tubes which run underneath the ground with an anchor plate. So there's a square plate under the ground stopping the tunnel from lifting upwards. On one side we've got a hinged door. It just closes and opens, as you can see. It's fairly simple to get one of these fitted on. And on the other side we've got a sliding wide door. This door is wider than the one you saw that was hinged, so it lets us get some bigger items in, and I've left it on this side just so there's space to get it in. So go inside, we've got a crop bar running across. That's just in case, you know, we can add things like a light or a heater or something like that in case we want to in the future. And along the sides we've got these staging supports. Now, I've not used these yet, I've not set anything up on them yet. What we can do is we can put down some wooden planks across and make a little staging or a table top. But for now my mum's happy with how it is and she wants to leave the plants on here. It does get quite warm in here. She's put another little mini greenhouse in there. Yeah. The only problem we've been having recently, so I'll just show you now, as you can see that the leaves have been turning white on some of these plants. Right, so as you can see, some of them have turned white. So we're trying to figure out what was going on with this. And the reason was that a lot of these plants, pretty much all of these plants, were sown indoors, and because the greenhouse wasn't ready, they were in the house for too long and they didn't get a chance to adapt or adjust to the sun. And because we bought them out so quickly and so abruptly, the leaves have started to actually burn from the sun, even though it's in the polytunnel. So the way we should have gone about that was, you're meant to bring the plants out every day for about 4 to 5 hours and leave them in the sun, and then after they've sort of taken in that heat, you take them back into the house and let them sort of harden and get used to being in the sun. And then over time they should get used to it, and then you can bring it out again and leave it in the polytunnel. But the mistake we made was we didn't have enough space in the house for all of this stuff, and they've not had a chance to get used to the heat of the sun. Hopefully these should be okay. They are just burn marks, but as the plant grows, it should grow nice and healthy from here. One way to stop your plants from burning like this in the sun is to bring them out when they're much smaller. Then they've had a chance to adjust to the sunshine as opposed to just the natural lighting inside your house. Yeah, it's just something we've had to deal with this year. Hopefully next year, because this is now built, we should be able to bring the plants out much earlier, and this shouldn't be a problem. Now, if any of you have any ideas or know of any methods to sort of help these plants grow back, or you've dealt with this before, let us know in the comment section below. Now, if you're looking to build a polytunnel this size yourself, I do suggest that you have an extra pair of hands to help you out. It is somewhat straightforward. Instruction manuals are not always the best, but one thing I learned from the DIY job is that not everything will be 100% perfect. You just have to sort of go with it and see what works for you. I'll show you a little thing we also did. It's just sort of, again, figuring out what works out best for you. Now, this sliding door was supposed to have a plastic covering on the top, but you can see we've got a netting. But the hinge door has got a netting on the top. And the instruction manual was broken, and I should have spent a bit longer just looking at these. So instead what I did was I kept the netting as ventilation, and I made my own little plastic windows. Now these help on the colder days just to keep the heating a bit better. So I've just stapled it along and I've got it down, and when I don't need it I can roll it up and it just stays in place. With the other one there's a piece of string that keeps it up. But yeah, as I said, you just sort of go with what you have, the space you have, the facilities you have, and even maybe the tools that you've got. A lot of the garden is improvised, you can see. We've just used whatever things we've got available to us.
Chicken manure, blood and
Fish blood bone.
fish blood bone. Otak mix koira furan mati no mati. Hano mix koira ni otare tuisi pani sita pani dia. To mix hoise hon. O ye hon o photo maze loisi lo ya hoide ami amar otar maze den kita banaislam compost banaisi o mati o hano ne dola hoiteisi. Ehon ota mati rufre di উপরের মাঝে ও মাটি দিলাম এখানে
Okay.
এটারে কুইরা না বাহুর বাকিতে হলো
Right, I'll just translate. So what my mum's been doing is she's been mixing some of the old soil with some new compost. She's been adding in chicken manure pellets and fish blood and bone. You can get them online, or you can find them at your local garden store.
এক্সটেনশন
She's also added a bit of Epsom salt.
মিক্স কইরা কি এর বাদে ওটা দিছি উপরে দি
So what she's done after that is she's also got her big pots here as well. And the compost that we've been producing over the year,
কত সুন্দর
she's took it all out. And she's just gathered it all here, as you can see.
কত খেসু আমি দেখাই ওই যে ওটাই বানাইছে কম্পোস্ট দি ওটাই কম্পোস্ট বানাইছে খেসু কত খেসু দি
Loads of worms here.
খেসু বানাইছে
They're all part of the process. They help to break down all the foods and the scraps and make the compost.
হয়তো ওটা বানাইছে মাটি বানাইছে সকল ভেজিটেবলের
So what she's done with the compost is she's then put it on top of these pots. Kita bora photo kita diba kizatna. So in these big pots, she's gonna put Bangla lao in.
আর চাইনিজ কুমড়া বড় বড় ফোট আনছি এতে জায়গা হয় বালা বাতাস খায়
So we've got some polystyrene at the bottom of the pot, and that's just to help with the water retention.
ফুল বট কে খাত না হলি ফুল খানা ওখান খাটি যায় তো মাটি
And it also stops the holes from getting covered by the compost and the soil. So there's always going to be that drainage hole there. The normal mixed mati.
এইটা পুরান মাটি নয়া মাটি মিক্স করা সকল সার দেওয়া তুরা তুরা করে দিছি
Right, so that is the old compost, new compost, some of the compost we made, bits of everything sort of mixed in together.
ওই মাটি না জানিয়া এটা বাকা 2-3 দিন হয়ে গেছে এক সপ্তাহ হয়ে গেছে মিক্স কইরা পানি দিয়ে থইছিলাম এখন মিক্স হয়ে গেছে সব
So she mixed all the different soils together and put a bit of water in.
এক সপ্তাহ আগে
About roughly 1 week ago.
আর বড় এখন নয় হরিবার মাটি মিক্স করছি দিকে আমার একটু প্লাস্টার ওই ওটা দেন উপরে দি আমার বানাই
As you can see,
ওটা কিতা উপরে দি পটের উপরে দি জিরজিরাই আসো পানি নিচে সকল জায়গায় যাইব এটা খালি ভেজিটেবলের শাক বানানার এরে মেলন সকলটা সব জাতের ফ্রুটের ভেজিটেবলের সার বইতে এটা
so the compost she's saying is made from a lot of your vegetable and fruit scraps that you would normally throw away.
ওখানে যদি মিক্স করি মিক্স করলাম ওইদিন যেখানে ভালো বুঝি বান করবো বুঝি দিয়ে রইয়া দিব ওখানে এর সব জিনিসের মধ্যে আমি
So the garden, which is this big, this can be a bit of a time-consuming process. So my mum just sort of gets on with it. But I hope that what you've seen in this video has been useful to you today, and you've learned a thing or two. Maybe you can implement in your garden. Let us know what you think. Leave us a comment. If you have any tips or tricks which will be useful to us, please let us know as well. If you have any questions you'd like to ask us, please leave them in the comment section. I do enjoy all the comments that you guys give. It's really interesting to see what you all think of it. Leave us a like, it helps us out a lot. It helps us boost our videos and get them to other people who may learn a thing or two. I just wanted to show you our sort of system of collecting the compost and the scraps. So inside the house we have a small square little bin just to throw in all your scraps, and then from there often it gets transferred into a bigger bin about this size, which is just close to the door, so it's easy to sort of throw into. And then as this fills up, we can then take this to the big bin and dump it in there. I'll just show you a couple of things that you can throw in your scraps. So you can see here you've got onion peel, you've got your eggshells, melons, all your vegetables and fruits really can be composted. So instead of throwing them in the bin, just take the time to sort of separate them and put them into a different pot or a different bowl, and slowly you should be able to build up your own compost, which is probably the best fertilizer you're gonna have access to for your garden. You can get compost makers from your garden store, which is just different fungi and bacteria which help to break down all the scraps. And as you can see, there's all sorts of animals here helping to break down all the scraps that you put in, and eventually it completes the cycle and becomes soil with loads of nutrition for all your plants. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.